Okay, so I have just failed to kill Adrex. This time.
Won't be
Adrex,
hard.
when that worm hit you and
Yeah.
you went dropping to the floor, did you
Second
spin clockwise or counterclockwise?
Adrex would do both.
Pratfall.
No, that checks
Spin
out. That's
clockwise
fine.
And then counterclockwise.
Like he spins one way and his tail spins the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he was just playing it up, honestly.
It's like when you knock somebody down and punch out and they do that silly little goofy dance back and forth
Yes.
all over the ring. So,
Yeah.
you're left alone in the room with just this ragged sounds of Huyan's breathing in the corner.
And the light, you said, returned to normal once this creature was gone?
Yes, Wendy's light that she's holding returns to normal.
Raazu signals the all clear to Student 9 and roll.
Okay.
It's for him to come into the room.
They enter into the room.
Birdie looks in Huyan's eyes. On a scale of 1 to 10, like how close to you were dying to die?
Her wounds, looking at them, look mortal. And you can see that she's been struck several times with a weapon similar to that black-headed pick you saw out in the battle site. What's more, on the side of her face and parts of her arms, you see metal pieces. And at first you think that this thing beat on her so much that it just split her armor in half. But then you remember, Huyan doesn't wear heavy armor. She has metal plates affixing themselves to various parts of her flesh. Did you still want to go ahead and sass the dying NPC?
I mean, I was just trying to figure out if she's dying.
Yeah,
So we could
she's
give her-
not
give
long
her-
for this world at all.
Render aid.
What sort of aid do you attempt to render?
Like, I'll get a potion from somebody and give it to her.
Okay.
Wendy, can I have one of your potions? I only
Yeah,
had the
absolutely.
one. Alright. I'll give her a potion.
Okay. Go ahead and
She will
roll that healing.
She'll get 5 hit points.
Birdie, take 5 points of necrotic damage as you take Wendy's potion, and as you unstop her, the vial, and hold it up to Huyan's lip, the liquid in the bottle boils and bubbles and starts flowing up and out of the sides and down your hands, down this sickly, oily liquid that was once a healing potion starts to devour your scales.
Like, I'm gonna like start spinning around in circles and just like yelling "ow."
And Huyan, seeing you there, for the first time, you see the look of recognition on her face. She realizes who you lot are. And for a moment, she attempts to stand, but she doesn't have the strength. And then she manages to, again, in her ragged voice, she manages to ask, "Is Mequin discovered?"
Who's Mequin?
Mequin is Hantao's wife. You met her last week.
Discovered for what?
She says that she and I were going to leave.
While that conversation's going on, Birdie grabs, lifts Adrex up, helps Adrex get up, and
You
Pulls him
do
over.
not. He's a full-grown Dragonborn in heavy armor.
I know. I'm just like, I'm tugging on him.
You offer him
No.
the world's most useless shoulder.
Yeah.
Where were you going to leave?
You asked why you were going to leave?
Yeah.
And you see her reaching to her side, and she says, "For the sake of her children," and she holds something out to you.
Raazu
She says,
takes a look at it.
do what you can, and she reaches to hand it up to you, but before you manage to take it, her arm goes slack. Her hand falls to the ground, and the item clatters to the ground with it.
Oh, Raazu, that's a party foul.
Raazu already saw Birdie attempt to heal her and get fucked for his trouble, so Raazu looks at the item that dropped. Before she picks it up,
Okay.
Before she picks it up, she says a prayer to Osprey and then goes to pick up the item.
And it's a small key ring. The ring itself is made of 2 loops of gold and silver braided around each other, and it has 4 keys, each of which, just picking it up in your hand, the head of the key is a small dragon scale, and the shaft of it is made of bone. And the keys are different shapes.
Okay, so let me get my notes right real quick. So you said it was a
ring of
so
4
that the,
keys.
ring of, and all of them have bone shanks.
Guys, if McDohl's keyboard and Destil's keyboard got in a fight, who would win?
Destil's is newer, so it's fresher.
Is Destil's
Yeah.
an echo fighter of McDohl's?
It is.
As long as I
I've heard them
live,
both. Neither of those are echoes.
I will never get tired of making fun of Smash Brothers. It's always going to be fun. 4 keys. The ring itself is made out of silver and gold loop braided around each other. The 4 keys have... The heads are small dragon scales, and the shafts of them are made of bone. And the 4 keys have different shapes.
Adrex
Okay.
puts most of his weight on Birdie as he tries to help him up.
Birdie, you are squashed.
Birdie, you die
you
instantly, no
suppose-
save.
And I
What do you
guess we're
suppose
bringing
that was all about?
bad news back to Han Tao. Be perfectly honest, I don't know what kind of death she deserved, but maybe it wasn't this.
At that, Student 9 kind of chimes up. Curious that you would hold the opinion that anyone deserves death.
It's just kind of a thing among my tribe. Death for the likes of her should be on her feet with a blade in hand against a foe.
And he nods in understanding.
I mean, she obviously died fighting. So
I don't know
did
what she was doing here.
Death should be quick. But yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, what was she doing here, I wonder? Well, too bad we can't ask her at this point.
did Subject 9 hasn't told us what he's actually looking for. Subject 9.
Do you ask him?
Yes, like what exactly are you doing here? He told us he would elaborate, but he hasn't yet.
And he reaffirms the need to make the ground safe so he can begin to research.
Yeah.
And his exact words last week was he would do what he can to explain it, but it would go above your head. You wouldn't understand any of it.
Right.
Can I have the torch back? I'm gonna take point again.
And Rolf very grudgingly hands the torch out. He looks like a man who just seen a ghost.
Behind Raazu's back, I'll hand Rolf a spare torch.
And he greedily lights it.
All right. Well, I guess unless there's something else that needs to be yes, we give this room a once over before we continue onward.
Giving this room a once over, the black rectangles are similar to the ones you've seen elsewhere. Just flat slabs of obsidian set into the floor with these twisty runic lines scratched into them. This part of the room is inaccessible. after a cave-in, and this slab here has a sharp crack down the center of it.
Okay. So you said this one's super cracked?
Yeah, it has one sharp crack right down the center of it. But this time there's no indication as what might have caused it. It hasn't fallen into place. It's still set into its recess.
Maybe whatever struggle that Huyan was involved with before we found her.
And now that the room is not engulfed in magical darkness, you can see the blood trail she left. And it looks like she was stricken down back here. This is where the blood trail starts.
So you think maybe she... Adrex, do you think you could look over her body and see what exactly caused it? If it was... I mean, you're intimately familiar with how that creature struck. Was it that creature that killed her, or was it something else?
Yeah,
Because this seems like it would be that creature's lair is in this room, and she took a fatal blow back up in the hallway. That seems unusual to me.
Adrex, make a medicine check.
Alright. That is not great. 14.
It's pretty clear what injury was the fatal blow. She has a large puncture in her chest that she was clutching that was dealt by that broad pick that you've seen before. But looking at these metal plates that have affixed themselves to her flesh, you see the rivets that have pierced into her skin along one of her forearms, along the back and broad side of her neck and one of her shoulders. And you don't see any indication as who or what might have done this. She didn't do it to herself, clearly, and there is nobody else at hand. There's no sign of tools or anything of the like in the room. Just these strange metal plates that have affixed themselves to her flesh.
Can we
And then Adrex points that out.
can we pry one off?
You can, but you're going to take a large amount of her skin with it.
Yeah, Raazu stops Birdie from doing that.
I wasn't going to do it. I was just asking.
Seeing that, Rolf,
with you.
Rolf pipes up, seeing Birdie get this look on his face. You wouldn't desecrate a corpse, would you? And dishonor the dead.
I never know with him. I never know from him.
Like,
Wait a second here. Of the two of you, who desecrated a corpse?
Most recently.
Raazu leers at Wendy. That was a message to any pursuers and to McGlubiats.
so
And
it's
Wendy
okay.
is not affected by the leer.
And Rolf chimes in, it's okay to desecrate corpses sometimes. If one has a good reason.
He's got a point.
No, I agree. I think it's... I mean, I don't think you should do it wantonly, but yeah, if you have a good reason, it's completely reasonable.
Like, is figuring out like why she has. Okay, that's fine.
No, this makes sense. Listen, the point of ethics is you work it out so that you know what to do when it comes up.
At this, Student 9 says, perhaps then we don't call it a desecration. Perhaps we refer to it as an autopsy. If we learn more about what killed this poor woman, we could learn more about the dangers of this place.
Birdie gives Student 9 finger guns and says, "I like your thinking."
Adrex gives a helpless look to Raazu.
Raazu
Shrug.
Raazu speaks up and says, at the very least, I think that that Hantao would, like, with how much respect Hantao gave his sister when we captured her, months and months ago, I would think that he would, at least want to at least give her body whatever burial rites are appropriate for for her tribe.
You want him to feed his sister to his dad?
Raazu looks a little aghast at that.
Wait, Birdie, is that a real thing?
Like,
Dragons are fucked up. Raazu starts walking this way.
Excuse me.
No, wait, Adrex, is that a real thing? Someone needs to tell me.
Ray just shrugs. He doesn't know.
It depends on the dragon. Like, my dragon is fucked up enough to do it.
That's a cop out.
I mean,
I'm just saying, I ran away. You know, he's a dick, and we met him. And then Adrex realizes like Student 9 is listening and just shuts up.
Okay. And what's next?
Sorry, we never came to a conclusion whether or not we want to pry one of these. Is that a thing we want to do?
Birdie is pro prying.
I
Raazu's
think
against
understand. I think if you could find out if they were put there against her will or surgically, might be valuable.
Like, how recently were they put there? Like, was it a thing that happened in the dungeon? Do we need to worry about horrible, like, rivet monsters?
How many
I'm
of these
wondering-
places did she have the last time we saw her?
0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this bears looking into.
Can I discern that with another medicine check?
You'd have to actually remove one of these plates,
Okay. Well,
which means
Go
either
ahead, go
finding
ahead.
some way to remove the rivets or taking a knife and skinning part of her arm.
Raazu looks to Birdie, and Raazu then looks to Birdie. If we're all in agreement to do this thing, then it needs to damage as little of her body as possible, and Birdie, I think, has the tools for it.
I have the tools for it too, Adrex says as his claymore flares up.
Yeah, no, not that. Birdie, can't you pop these rivets out? Like, snip the use some.
Could I use my Could I use my thieves kit to remove the rivets?
Just thinking, don't you have your tinker's tools?
Also my tinker's tools? Yeah.
Tinker's Tools might do it. Give me a strength Tinker's Tools check.
Raazu moves to where
This isn't
she
going to
holds
be.
the flashlight.
It's not going to
Could I
be a
get-
pretty sight.
Could I get Adrex to assist me with the heavy lifting?
No.
Like when I need strength? Okay, then that's just an A. That's a 9.
You set to work with the Tinker's Tools, thinking you can unscrew these rivets and maybe soften them up, but you realize that several of them go so deep into her arm that they've begun boring into her bone, and that's why you can't just pry them loose.
Yeah, once Raazu sees that they're going that deep, Raazu puts a hand on Birdie's shoulder and shakes her head.
Yeah, so prying this thing out without the tool that was used to drive the rivets in place would essentially be destroying the entire arm. You'd have to crack the bone and...
You've been here for some time, Student 9, right? Did you see her during that time?
He says he's never come this deep into the Spire.
But what about Huyan herself? Have you this is Hantao's brother? Did you
Sister.
or sister? Did you see her before this?
He said that they were not strongly acquainted. He was given the impression that she had earned her father's ire.
So I think the big question is even though you were not strongly acquainted with her, you saw her, yes. Did she have steel plates embedded in her when the last time you saw her? We're trying to establish timeline here.
He shakes his head. This is...
Could we get under the Oh, sorry.
He says this is a new development. He's not seen this before.
Birdie
Can we
throws his
get under
hands.
the plate and snip the rivets
No.
with something?
Can I make an insight
No.
on that, Breck?
Sure.
Freaking evil rivet monsters. That's what we're gonna.
Snipping the rivets would... I mean, you'd need specialized tools to do so. What are you planning to use?
We don't have like a pair of tin snips or something in anyone's toolkits.
That's
I
why I
don't know
was
what that
saying
is.
Birdie's. Yeah, no, I know what kind of tool it would take to cut a rivet, and I think the only person that would have anything close to that would be Birdie.
Or maybe student 9.
How'd that insight do?
That was a 11. 12.
An 11. And there doesn't seem to be anything behind his voice at all. You asked him a question, and he gave you just a very simple and matter-of-fact answer.
Well, I think we gathered about all the information we're going to be able to hear. Let's I guess we can head upstairs and or we can head down those stairs and clear the rest of this place out, and then we'll tend to Yuan's body after.
Okay. Adrex, how many hit points do you have left?
I gave him 15.
I got so many of these ghosts, man. You have no idea.
We don't, but you can clue us in.
All right, what's
Would you
next?
like to tell us? Like,
Do we want to come back for her body? Go to exit.
Once we cleared this place out, yes.
Assuming we don't have to make a very quick exit.
we saw
Yeah.
what student
If we
nine-
have to make a very quick exit, she would understand us leaving her here. She wanted us to transmit her message, remember?
I don't know if she ever understood anything that we tried to do for her.
Okay.
Y'all
Yeah.
coming?
Mumbles under his
Raazu,
breath.
looking
Yo.
around the hallway down towards the pool, there's an alcove on the left-hand wall that has a similar obsidian rod in it to the first one that you saw.
Yo, y'all coming? Raazu calls out to Red and Wendy.
We're not actually standing there.
I don't know if you.
Dragons, McDohl.
And approaching this obsidian rod, you realize that it's no longer standing in one piece. There's a big heft of it, maybe 2 feet or so, just below your chest height, missing. The bottom part of it looks like it's a clean slice directly through the rod. The top part of it is jagged and broken. It looks like it was snapped and splintered. And looking at the ground, you see this 2-foot length of rod or so laying there on the ground.
Raazu picks up the rod, looks at it. Says, what would have the strength to snap something like this?
Is that made of the obsidian?
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a bad feeling about all of this. The more and more we look at this place.
How big is that piece of rod? You said it was about 2 feet.
It's about 2 feet long, and it's wide enough in diameter that you can get your hands comfortably around it. You can get a good grip with each hand.
Discipline rod.
Maybe as big around as the base of a baseball bat.
I like these baseball bat metric.
What's next?
So,
Raazu?
like-
Looks like you're
maybe
leading the
we
pack
could've-
here.
Yeah, I'm thinking we got the other one up here. Maybe they were designed to be turned in synchronous.
I'm gonna leave the server real quick. I've got this weird glitch.
Yeah, it's called your personality. Oh,
Oh shit, got him.
the bird sauce.
Colby.
Let's just go up. Let's just head back to where we were before, back to the stairs, because until we figure, because I don't know what we're doing here. And Student 9 won't tell us until we make it safe.
Do you say that out loud, or is that just an observation?
It's like I say it out loud.
Okay.
The hell with tact.
And he, somewhat apologetically, tells you that he could begin to explain the purpose of his research, but he's not certain that you would understand. And as you're walking down the hallway, he starts describing what he believes the mechanism, the scratches on all of these obsidian plates are used for. Make an Arcana check at disadvantage.
Oh well, that's a 1.
And you're thinking, you know what? Fuck this guy. I made black tentacles, and I've got spell stones, and we met a fey princess and a pirate king, and what's this asshole ever done? And he starts to explain what he thinks these scratches are, and a few seconds into the explanation, you're totally lost. You don't get the sense that he's purposely speaking beyond you. It's just like you suddenly realize there's much deeper waters than that which you've stuck your big toe.
Like, that's fine, but like I just like what? All right. Well, I'll come back to this later then.
All right, down to B2.
Raazu.
Zelda style. Hey.
That's another thing I completely screwed up on this map is I don't have numbers on the rooms here.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. I messed this all up. I'm so sorry.
I could just start drawing numbers if you want.
You can.
Yeah.
You feel free.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go into Greek letters this time. That actually is room number 5, believe it or not, on my map.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, it makes sense.
no, not even
F.
close. F. God damn it. So, Raazu, turning this corner, coming down these stairs. Who's holding the ring of keys? You are?
Yeah.
The stairs end very abruptly. You take maybe 5 steps down, then a right-hand turn, 5 steps down, right-hand turn, 2 steps down, and you are nose to wall here. It's just a solid obsidian wall, the likes of which make up the entire rest of this complex. However, affixed to this obsidian wall is a bizarre metal sheet of worked iron. This is similar to the metal that you saw out at the battle site, which Student 9 referred to, that he made to be dwarven work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any markings or scratches or anything on the sheet, but you can see traces of those scratchings on the floor at your feet. The step that this metal sheet stands on. It's a pentagonal sheet, so 5-sided with a flat edge at the top and a point at the bottom.
Okay, so something like... Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you're in the ballpark. You're fine.
Yeah, okay.
At the 4 of the corners, all but this top left corner,
Okay.
is a chain that is bolted violently into the obsidian wall with something strong enough to pierce into this material. And the chain holds the corner in place. This chain at the top left is broken. It looks like it's been ripped asunder. The other 4 chains are intact, and each one has a heavy lock welded to it with a thin keyhole.
Raazu looks down at the key ring and then starts trying locks.
Okay. You're holding a torch, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so looking down at the keys in the torchlight, you can make the color out of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is white, one of them is green, one of them is black, and one of them is blue. And looking at the door, you see similar colors on the 4 locks. They seem to be made of tinted metal.
Mm-hmm.
The iron itself has the coloration. And looking at the one that's been ripped asunder, you see that lock at one point was red.
Wooberg, got it.
You said white, green, black, and what?
And blue.
Blue.
And also, laying at the ground here, you see 3 shurikens laying on the ground that you recognize as similar to or identical to the ones that Huyan was throwing at you in that village all those years ago.
It was only months.
Yeah, this was after
Because it
your
was-
excursion into the Feywild.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of overland and ship travel after that. It's probably
did.
closer to like, it's probably getting somewhat close to a year.
Well, you said it was starting up into spring now, yeah?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're into spring now.
Yeah, so Raazu will try the keys, matching color for color.
Okay. And you find each of them matches just fine. And when you get to the blue one, you see that across the front of the lock and across the keyhole is a smear of blood.
Mm-hmm.
But the lock fits, no problem. And at that, the chains, one by one, disengage. The metal plate doesn't move or go anywhere. It's still going to take quite a bit of work to lean this thing down to access the wall behind it.
Mm-hmm. Raazu will pull it aside.
Okay, make a strength check.
Plus 2, 3. Uh, 21.
21. You grunt and groan as you slide this big metal pentagonal piece aside, giving yourself access, and it's just a solid wall behind it. But you see scratch marks like you saw on all of the rectangular pedestals, and on the very bottom stair that is now revealed underneath you. But these scratch marks don't move in random and strange shapes. These ones all spiral inward to a center point in the wall.
Okay. And is there anything at that center point?
No, it just looks like these spirally patterns kind of just disappear into this point. The more you look at this point, the more you focus on, it's like zooming in on the Mandelbrot set. It's just the spirals never seem to actually reach the center. They just get smaller and smaller and tighter and tighter and tighter.
So yeah, I thought this was going downstairs, but apparently not.
Try the key.
I did. Keys. You didn't hear me. You didn't hear me.
I'm gonna go tap on that center point
Okay. With what?
with my finger.
And
With
Wendy
my
vanishes, and you see no sight of her.
Ooh.
Raazu. She sees
Okay,
that.
hold on. Wendy's
Whoa.
gone. What happens in the next 4 seconds?
Wendy just vanished.
Wendy just vanished.
Birdie
Birdie,
rushes forward to try where she was, same spot.
You rush
What?
forward to the same spot. What does Adrex do in the next 4 seconds?
Run towards where when we vanished.
Okay, what does Raazu do in the next 4 seconds?
Raazu shouts out and says, "I think Wendy was just blinked somewhere."
What does Red do in the next 4 seconds?
So I can move 60 feet in 6 seconds, so I can get to there pretty easy and pulls out a dagger.
Okay, Wendy, roll initiative.
You got it.
And I've got to go to immigrant. Actually, everybody can roll initiative. It's not going to matter for anybody else but Wendy for now.
Nice.
Oh, look how laggy that roll is. It looks like shit.
It was pretty laggy for me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really laggy roll.
Sorry,
My roll was fine.
I accidentally closed Google Chrome, so I have to go back to immigrant.com.
Are you stealing the power from our rolls now, Adrex? Is that what you're being forced to?
That makes sense. I mean,
I'll share some of my rolls if it just.
This is
means-
fine.
everything is fine.
Wendy,
Yeah.
bizarre question. You know, I can just erase
Yeah.
everybody's everything here. Who do you love more, Adrex or Birdie? If you don't want to say in public, you can just find a private, we'll go into the other chat, or you can text message me or something. Because I know you're they're real sensitive about this. So
No, there is a correct answer, and it's not Birdie.
I don't know about that. I
Have you
think
met
Birdie
him?
and
Is he actually text messaging me? I was joking. Are you actually like?
No, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I feel like Birdie and Wendy have more in common than you might think.
Yeah, it's rough because like I feel like Birdie is much more difficult to like get
Like?
to do everything properly the way he should, and that makes me grow to love him.
So, in this moment, who do you love more?
I'm gonna go with Birdie.
With Birdie, okay. All right. Wendy, you find yourself suddenly in a much more open space than you were standing in before. But it's a windless space. So you can't see anything right off the bat. And you hear the sounds of stone slamming stone, like something stomping on the ground off in this direction somewhere. And let me get the stat block up here. I don't know why I made these guys pink.
Funsies.
Because
It's fabulous.
Yeah, why
pink is
not?
the best
You knew
color.
Wendy was gonna get sucked in here, and you were
Oops.
like, "Well, that's her color."
Is that Wendy's color? Pink? I thought she was white.
I mean, look at my token.
Oh, I guess you're right.
It was predestined.
Rude.
And no sooner do you realize you're in this more open space than you were a moment ago, and you no longer hear your friends around you speaking or talking. And it's actually also much colder where you're standing, and there's an almost acrid, like scent in the air, like a sickly sweet smell where you're standing, and you hear stomping sounds coming very quickly in your direction, and that makes it Birdie is surprised, Adrex is surprised, Red is surprised. Yeah, your turn.
Birdie cannot be surprised.
Okay, well, what do you do in the next 4 seconds after you ran up to and shouted out, "Hey, Wendy's gone"?
My gut reaction is to say I also touched the thing,
Mm-hmm.
but no.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stand there and look.
So you do absolutely nothing on your turn. Wendy, it's your
You know
turn.
what? I changed my mind. Adrex.
I knew that was coming.
You know, I'm gonna take flight.
Okay. And as you put your wings out, because you were just a moment ago standing in a very cramped hallway, but now you're in like an open space. Very stale and lifeless air, but an open space nonetheless.
How high up does it seem like it goes? If I like flap up cautiously, holding my hand out.
What's your passive perception at disadvantage? So your passive perception -5?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
13.
13? Really difficult to say. If you want to use your action to make a perception check, I'll give you an answer to that question based on the acoustics you hear of the guys stomping around.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
That's a 15.
A 15? It's difficult to say how high up it goes. At least a good 50 or 60 feet.
All right, I'll go up about 60 feet.
Okay. And I'm sorry, did you billow your cape?
I mean, I might as well. I'm
Okay.
trying to look for the ceiling.
And when you do so, you become aware of 2 enormous metal golems, each one armed with a huge metal pick. Like you would think like the world's largest dwarf would use this pick to mine through a mountain.
That's not ideal.
The room is dome-shaped as you fly upward, and you realize there's nowhere to perch, but around the room are 6 alcoves. And there's some kind of structure standing in each one. And you hear some more stomping in your relative direction, and Raazu is surprised, and then we're back to Birdie.
I'm gonna look back at Raazu and then touch the spiral in the center.
Okay, and you immediately vanish. Birdie is gone. Birdie,
Raazu will remember that.
you find yourself in this room. 2 gargantuan metal men wielding these metal picks, and in their chests, in their chest cavity, looks like they're like a wood-burning stove got up and grew legs, roiling and burning with fire inside. And you're like, you know what? I really like these guys better when I was encountering them before they exploded. Their attention is easily focused on Windy, who is above you in the air, spiraling out away from you. Behind you is a mighty statue of a dragon. Not life-size, thankfully. It's large, like the size of a large creature, but its features, you can tell, are meant to be an ancient dragon. And you're Birdie, right?
Yeah.
Last you checked.
That was the best question.
There's a plaque at the base of this great black dragon that's spreading its wings out. And it's got 2 lines of text on it. The top one you don't recognize. The second one is written in Draconic, and it reads Chokyorix. And you recognize the name as a dragon that your sire once killed for its hoard, a rival black dragon who your sire murdered.
So, cunning action hide?
Hide where?
And
how are we hiding?
Behind the statue.
Okay, roll that check.
That is a 25, I think. No, 26, 27.
Okay, so far the 2 creatures seem to be focused on Windy, who's up in the air, and you take the opportunity to duck back behind the statue of the black dragon. And as you do, you too get this sense of just this acrid feeling in the air, and you recognize it as being the lingering like motes that hang in the air after a black dragon uses its breath weapon.
So I feel at home.
A little bit, yeah. Is that all we're doing?
Nice. Yeah.
Adrex,
Nostalgic.
you just saw Birdie reach up and touch the thing, and he's gone.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Okay. Isn't that like your motto?
Yeah. Motto. That is Adrex's motto.
Okay. And you immediately find yourself standing in this alcove. And you see the similar scene that I just spelled out for Birdie. You've got these 2 lumbering beasts that are coming across the room. Windy's taken flight. You see no sign of Birdie anywhere in eyeshot. Not with the passive perception of whatever your bullshit is. The statue behind you, though, it feels frigid in the air. And it doesn't feel like just the cold of winter. It feels like the cold of a white dragon who's just used his breath weapon.
Cold.
But not like your pissant wannabe Bowser Jr. breath weapon. We're talking like an actual... And you see a similar plaque on this dragon. The top line is indecipherable. But the second line in Draconic reads, Nidmengrind. I'm sorry, did I say something funny?
No.
Do you need a minute?
No.
Does that mean Adrex gets a clown car?
You read his live journal entry today, right?
No, I didn't, actually.
Okay.
I haven't yet.
Right.
But you still have your movement and your action. All you've done is touch the wall so far. You've got how many hit points?
Read that.
I'm near death still.
Okay, cool. Cool. No, that's fine.
Yeah, all
That's
right.
why Adrex is my favorite.
I immediately regret this decision.
You're going to hide back behind the statue?
Yeah.
That's fine.
All
I'll
right.
solo these guys.
Make a hide check.
Let the blind bird woman do it.
Right now, their attention's focused on Windy. So I mean, you can make them. You're making it at what's the penalty? Like you're at disadvantage on high checks.
Hold on.
Okay.
Everyone,
Hold on.
let's second wind.
Okay.
It's way better. All right.
Let's.
I can theoretically take a hit.
Theoretically.
We'll see how that goes.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bonus action?
Yeah, that's a bonus
I
action.
think so.
I do it instead of attacking. Let me double check.
Second wind is if it's not a bonus action, I played a fighter wrong for a year and a half.
Yeah. I'm same with Khalil. Like that
Oh,
was.
yeah, no, you're right. It is a bonus action.
So that means you can still hide like a little.
I was looking at something else completely.
Come on, tap into your inner kobold.
No, that gift.
Gonna hold an action. Gonna hold an action is what I'm gonna do.
Okay, ready? What's the trigger and what's the action?
Once they both enter Windy's threat range, I'm going to hurl a axe at them.
Everything's within
Alright.
Wendy's threat range, dog.
Okay.
I'm going to. Oh yeah.
Wendy's always a threat.
All right. Well, when they attack Windy, in an effort to distract.
So you're going to attempt to
Theoretically,
help Windy?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you can only do that in melee range. I don't think you can do that at range. I'll let you just make an attack roll if you just want to whip a javelin, but you're not making the aid action. You're just attacking. Is that making sure I understand what you're doing?
To be fair, I'm trying to figure out what I'm. So, all right. No, they've actually got enough movement speed to get over here.
Okay, so you're going to come underneath Windy?
Yeah.
Okay. That's going to bring us to Red.
Yeah, seeing that, I think I'll touch the little spirally.
Yep.
Who does Red love
Wait.
more?
I need
Who
to
does Red like more out of whom?
Adrex and Birdie.
Adrex and Birdie? Probably Adrex.
All right. And as soon as Adrex vacates his position next to this white dragon statue, Red materializes in that space. And you see
I
the
need to
scene
know
is
real
laid
quick.
out.
Is
Yeah.
the reason why Red came through because there is now more of the party on the other side than there is on this side.
I shouldn't have let Red come through at all. The red lock is broken.
Yeah. Alright, so I see things as they are, right?
Yes. Right now, it looks like they're still focused on Windy, but they absolutely see Adrex darting across the room.
Do they have ranged weapons at all?
You see them each holding this massive pick, and it looks like they've got some wicked reach on it, but whether or not they could throw it effectively, you would guess not, but you've seen stranger things.
It was pretty good.
I liked it.
Let's move to here and take the dodge action as my action.
Okay.
As a bonus action, I will give Windy advantage on our next attack against.
Okay. All right, how much move speed do I have? These are 5-foot squares, by the way. Windy.
Yeah.
This one puts a foot on this slightly raised dais in the center of the room, slams its foot into the ground, and does this launching jump into the air. And I need you to
shit.
make a dexterity saving throw.
You got it.
These are the things that killed the silver dragon.
It's dunking. That's 21.
21. And you see, well, you don't see anything. You feel this fire in this thing's chest burst forth as this jet of flame spurts out at you. And you just barely, it catches the tips of your wings. And you hear something splatter against the back wall behind you. Adrex,
Mm.
Actually, nothing terrible happens to you because you're just outside of the range. I need a different color. White's not going to do it. Let's do this crappy looking brown. When you see this spurt of flame launch into the air, oh, where was he at? So he can make it to here with his jump. Okay. And this area of the floor here, this 10-foot square, becomes coated in grease. And he lands with a thud and his wicked pick. And you realize that he's not just blasting fire, he's blasting a flammable gel that is adhered to the back wall and is leaking down and hitting the floor in spurts behind you.
Oh.
Windy, what are you going to do about that?
I don't like this.
I'm gonna swoop down on him
Mm-hmm.
and billow my cloak.
Okay.
And take a couple of sharpshooter shots at him.
Okay.
First one at advantage. It's a 22.
22 will hit.
Oh, okay. Good. I was worried. For 17 magical piercing.
So where's this torch?
I have it strapped to my arm.
Okay. Strapped to your arm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we did in the underwater river.
Sure.
So everyone, if the question is, can everyone see Windy? Yes. Don't worry about it. They got her. Don't know why I rolled 2 die.
I'm sorry, how much damage to my poor golem who's done nothing wrong?
17 magical piercing.
Okay.
One of those was a hit, one of those was a miss, so I'm gonna just throw 1 die this time like a not crazy person.
Okay.
Didn't the golem like start off by spewing fire at Windy?
Nah, it didn't happen.
Okay.
And that's a miss.
That's a miss. So yeah, you throw some arrows down, and one of them finds a mark. You find a chink in the thing's armor, and the arrow buries itself in. The other one just clatters harmlessly off the thing's armor. And
if they're shooting shit, I'm gonna fly around to the other side of it. Just because I don't want them to be able to hit both me and Adrex.
okay, Red, you're not hiding, are you?
No.
Okay. I need Red to make a dexterity saving throw.
You're a rogue, right? DC's pretty good.
That would be a dex save of 25.
And you don't take any damage on a successful save,
I
correct?
have invasion.
I need you to make a second unrelated dexterity saving throw.
This is an unrelated one, though. He promises.
That would be a 26.
Okay.
No, 27.
Once again, you see the fire in this thing's chest as something stoking coals inside of it flare up, and it shoots out this gout of this just flammable, splattery gel. And you deftly duck underneath it. But the entire space around you at your feet is covered in this incredibly slick grease. This counts as difficult terrain.
Okay.
Nodal, do you want to get a brown marker and like shade those squares in so they're easier to see?
I don't know where the first one went.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to see on this map.
Oh, I see it now.
And that's going to bring us to Raazu. You're left back with
Raazu.
Rolf, and Rolf grabs onto the scruff of your neck and says, "You can't leave us out here, all alone with the dangers of this place, the ghosts and anything else lurking we haven't found." He's pleading with you not to leave him alone in this place.
Then here's my suggestion. Come with me if you want to live.
No.
The
Also, that's just a lie.
unconvincing Terminator ever.
Raazu, who do you love more, Adrex or Birdie?
Who do I love? Adrex.
Adrex?
Aw.
And you pop into existence right here.
Windy's my only friend.
And you see the scene exactly as I've described it. Red standing in a pool of grease. The fire, or the walls behind Red and Adrex here are just burning with this horrible, unnatural fire. And big metal dudes are beating on your homies.
Birdie loves a project, or Windy loves a project.
That's fair. Like I think that was like Raazu's reasoning at the very beginning of the campaign, but I think
Raazu gave up on that a long time ago.
Raazu, you still have your full movement and an action.
Yeah, I'm going to go close to here. See these things being malicious,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna switch to this trident,
Okay.
and I'm going to take a swipe at this thing.
And last time you pulled out your trident in Kyong Zhao's domain, it had gone inert. It no longer felt cold. When you pull it out here, it's back to its old useful self.
Okay, cool.
Do you need
I'm
some
gonna
help,
go
Nodal?
No, I'm good.
That's only a 9 to hit.
9's not going to do it.
That's a bummer. How about an 11?
11's not going to do it either.
Let's see, within 30 feet. 1, 2. Nah, not worth it at this point.
Okay.
What about
Precision attack.
And
Raazu? Not Windy.
Wendy's flying up high. It's within 30 feet.
yeah, with the wooziness of coming out of this teleportation tunnel or whatever, your strike does not find its mark.
Life is about to get terrible.
It's going to bring us to Birdie.
Okay, so when you describe these things, they have open chest cavities.
Their chest cavity looks like a wood-burning stove, like a furnace. And they've
Like,
got
it's-
stout armored legs and arms and a large heavy helmet on its head.
Well, I'm just saying, is the chest where the wood burning part, where the fire is it open?
It's got slats in it. And you can
Okay.
see the fire burning within. If you're asking, can I put an arrow in there? Yes, you can.
No, I'm going to
Type here.
use the wand to create water to put 10 gallons of water inside of the fire, the chest cavity.
Let me just verify that Birdie does in fact have that wand.
I do, unless somebody took it from me without my knowledge.
Yep, you sure do.
Okay.
I only took one wand from you.
And my notes say this is the one that you took from Huyan, so that's... or you got it from Shallow Scale somewhere, so... okay, so you expend the wand. Let me look up the spell real quick.
Okay. Create water. You create 10 gallons of clean water within range in an open container.
Okay. Make a ranged attack roll. Because this thing's not going to just stand there and let you fill it with water.
Okay. So that would be a 15.
15. And you create this giant gout of water, but the thing spins in your direction just as you do, and it splashes to the floor. Good news is, nah, I can't wash away this grease. You'd have to get down and scrub at this grease. Yes, if you expend a charge from the wand and succeed on a ranged attack roll, I'll let you create water inside this thing's cavity.
Okay. All right. So how many charges we got? So
You had 5. You've got 4 now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And I'm going to.
So you're going to leave his start range?
This is his threat range, way over here.
Oh, yeah. 10 feet.
Okay, the all cunning action disengage.
You'd like to, but he's got stamina.
Oh no. Okay.
26 to hit Birdie.
Ouch.
That's a low damage roll, though.
Birdie.
9 points of magical piercing damage. As you see your water didn't hit its mark, and you go to duck out of the way, and its pick comes down so much faster that you figured this thing was capable of moving. It claps you in the ass and nails you to the floor for at least the next round.
Oh no, Birdie, what will we do? I'm just kidding, Birdie, I love you.
I'm going to.
No, you don't. You loved Adrex. I asked you.
Yeah, you did.
He's got you there.
I'm going
Yeah.
to half that.
Okay.
So
And that
Birdie
brings
loves
us
Birdie.
that brings us to everybody's favorite Dragonborn.
Aw,
except Wendy.
I love you guys. You guys are great.
No, but the first thing Wendy did was leave your dragon and go towards Adrex's dragon.
What? No.
Did you write Greasy
Oh,
for
yeah.
Sheezy on my? Okay, you did. Just making sure. I'm sorry, Adrex. Please take your turn.
Let's hurl a javelin
what's
at
the
the damn
problem?
thing.
Hurl a javelin at the damn thing. Okay. At which one? At Raazu's or at Birdie's?
Raazu's.
Okay. You figure Birdie could take care of himself.
That is a 26.
26 will hit.
That should
26
hit.
Will hit. All right. 4. That is 10 damage.
Okay.
And what size is this creature? It's large.
It is large.
It is large. It is. I mean, please make a strength saving throw.
Okay.
DC 17.
I rolled a 1. How's that do?
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, whoa.
Alright.
So you fling
Well,
this
that's-
javelin at the joint in this thing's knee, and you hear the javelin snap as this thing tumbles forward and clatters to the ground in front of Raazu. So
Excellent.
you're not getting the javelin back.
That's fine, but it's prone.
It is prone.
Wasn't expecting that.
Got him.
Let's hurl a second javelin at it. Oh wait, no, I got to do damage to it too.
Yeah, you probably should.
The best part of this.
That'd be nice.
I don't
Another
know,
8
man. The
damage on
best
top of
part's
it.
definitely it being prone.
Another 8 damage and second javelin. That is a
Are you
23 to
throwing
hit.
it the same one?
Yeah.
Because if it's prone, you have disadvantage on the roll with a ranged attack. No?
Yeah, ranged attack.
Let's hurl it at the other one.
Okay. That
I
seems
can make
reasonable.
2 things prone. It's
Throw
23
it
to hit.
at the other one.
Listen, if he knocks both of these assholes to the ground with 2 javelins and you don't give him the badass blip, you guys are doing something seriously wrong
Yeah.
with your dirty lives. If he doesn't, feel free to withhold it.
11 damage, and
Okay.
repeat that strength saving throw, please.
Listen, I don't like to let Bricker be the judge of this.
20
Yeah.
on that save.
Bummer.
He makes it. He is not prone, but he still takes another 8 damage.
And this javelin doesn't snap, but it's stuck in this thing's leg. It's pierced through its armor. And moving or staying put?
Yeah.
Its start range is 10 feet. So 5,
Yeah, he's got 10 feet reach.
15, 25. Can I do that? 30?
You can,
Make it
but
in
as
there.
soon as you enter that grease, you need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, tits. I'm so bad at these.
Make everyone prone.
Indomitable.
Indomitable.
Intrepidable.
Not within Raazu's range. 13.
13,
Yeah.
and you fall prone when you enter this square. Your boot hits this grease, and your foot just goes out from under you. And
I
for
don't
like,
So
have
dominable.
boots.
I thought you got. Oh no, it was Wendy that got the boots, even though she has talons.
I don't want to do it now.
You're smarter than Wendy. So
He's
you-
prone though.
he's prone and you're prone, and now it's Red's turn.
So Red is curiously standing in this grease, which has no red-shaped, pattern on the back wall, despite the fact that he's there.
Oh, there it is. There's the red shape pattern.
Move to there, pull out my rapier, and take a stab at this thing. And
Okay.
it's prone, I believe.
It is prone.
Something I've heard on the grapevine.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
the news, yeah.
That'll hit an armor class of 26,
That'll do it.
and then this is a rapier. So I need these
Good job, Nodal.
for 24 damage.
Okay, you managed to stick him in the forge with your rapier.
Let's go ahead and give Raazu advantage on our next attack again, and that's the end of Red's turn.
Okay.
I think he's coming up before I do, right?
You can sentinel.
He's coming up next. Because I put him on different initiatives. So he goes after Red
Yeah.
before Windy. And he gets up to his feet. Let's have both of you guys make a dexterity saving throw.
Get +4 to this, Red.
So, plus 13. 20.
14.
14 and 20.
Yep.
20 points of fire damage, which you can cut in half if you... Which Red can cut in half because he made the save, and then he could just eliminate. As Raazu, he lights you up again with a gout of this napalm blast.
Ugh, that's not good.
And that leaves this 10 feet here, covered in grease.
Jeez, leave it to a professional, Burger.
And once again, like, Red is just completely clean. Nobody knows how he does it. Windy, you're up.
All right.
Oh, he's not prone anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, he just gets up. I think I'm going to do a swift kick to the head of this one and then give it a nice longsword slash.
Okay.
Toss a quick billow in there for flavor. That's a
Windy
20 on the kick.
battlefield
20 will hit.
pattern which is formed as sand in the wind. Battlefield chef.
What? No. That's a 15?
15 damage.
15 to hit.
15 does not hit.
Okay.
You said billow for flavor.
I got distracted because I thought I heard somebody say battlefield chef.
I did.
Okay.
The pattern which is formed in the Cheerios.
So that's a quick 8 damage. Magical bludgeoning
I've got my
8 damage
next
on
turn.
the second hit.
on the first hit.
On the, what AC did
And
you
could
hit?
you? I only got 1 hit. Could you give me a quick con save?
Yes. First, I have to do math. Okay, I have
Oh,
math.
I love math.
So it's fine. They're good at con saves. Well, they're supposed to be good at con saves.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Hubris. Hubris per
And
code.
he is stunned.
He is stunned. And you hear this echo reverberate as Windy quite literally rings this thing's bell.
Gong.
Thanks for the assist, Birdie.
And
by
you're
the way.
swooping around to end up where you started?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's stunned till the end of your next turn,
The end of my next turn.
which means he's stunned at the start of Raazu's turn.
Yep. Okay. If I move out of the greasy spot, does that provoke, or does that cause me to have to not trip?
It counts as difficult terrain. You'll only trip if you decide to end your turn in this space.
Okay. And then I'm gonna swing around here. So that's 10. 15. So yeah, I'll swing that around there. And I will go after this thing.
Okay.
Ooh, that is a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
Alright, so I switched to the Trident. I'm going to put some Thunder Stank on this. Let's throw a level 2 slot on that.
Thunderstank longbow.
Let's see, that is 6 piercing damage from the Javelin
Javelin?
or Trident.
Okay.
Yeah, and 13 thunder damage.
As a peal of thunder rings out, across the room and crackles through this thing's armor. Is that the end of your turn?
No, I got a second attack. I was just
Do
kinda
it.
feeling it out a little bit. That's a 23 to hit.
Feeling saucy this round. All right, that's good.
That's gonna be 9 piercing damage from the trident,
Okay.
and another 5 thunder damage.
Very good. And then now you're moving or staying put?
I'm staying put.
Staying put. It's going to bring us back to Birdie.
Okay, I'm gonna try and shoot water in this guy's face hole, like furnace hole.
Well, the furnace
And-
is in his chest,
Okay.
cavity.
Furnace hole, yeah.
Let's go ahead and burn up that wand charge and make a ranged weapon attack.
All right. Can I
Is that
take
gonna
it
be-
at advantage since he's stunned?
You do indeed.
Okay. All right, that is a +9, so 26 to hit.
$26 to hit. Okay, I've got to do some math over here. And the fire inside the furnace is snuffed out as water splashes out of the cavity and all over to the floor. This entire area is immediately broils out with this burning steam. And you're just outside of the range at which it could badly scald you. You can't see anything inside of it. It's extreme. You can't even see where Windy is swooping back into place. Windy, you'd be in the range of the steam, though. I'm going to go ahead and scald you a little bit.
Can I make a dex save?
Yeah, why not?
Charitable.
That's a 25.
Okay, 12 points of fire damage, which you can cut in half.
No, I'll avoid it entirely because it's evasion.
As you come back and swoop in, well, I'll tell you what, making the dex save, I'll give you the opportunity to not end in the steam, because you can't evade this scalding cloud of steam. There's nowhere to dodge to and still be inside of the cloud.
So how do I, where would I have to be to get out of here?
Anywhere outside of his 5-foot radius there.
You got it.
And Birdie,
Raazu suddenly has a very sinking feeling in the pit of her stomach.
what other terrible thing are you going to do to my poor golem who's never done anything wrong?
I'm going to move over here.
Okay.
Like that was my action. I'm not a fighter. I can't action surge and go on for 35 minutes.
Neither can Adrex. He already did that in the last combat, which brings us to
Yeah.
Adrex.
Don't be jelly. Something coming. Okay. Can you get up?
Okay.
Ding. Can I do that? Can I move out of the? Also, my dagger actually isn't ignited, so.
Okay. That's
5.
probably for the best, considering you were just laying in flammable grease.
Yeah, that's. Go back over here to where I feel comfortable in this dragon, and let's hurl my last javelin at that thing.
Okay.
That is a 21 hit.
21 will hit.
21 will hit.
If you knock this guy down twice.
Oh, we're gonna find out. That is 9 damage.
Okay.
And yeah, let's do another strength saving throw.
19.
Ah,
Bummer.
just made it.
So you pierce him with the
Yes.
javelin, but he doesn't go down this time.
But he does take another 8 damage.
Sure does.
Adrian,
Superiority
you
dice.
just keep making them make the save. Eventually, they'll roll badly.
And this one is bloodied. You start seeing oil leaking out of the various wounds, and some of this flammable slop inside of its gullet is spilling out forth, and it's moving a shade slower. Is that the end of Adrex's turn?
I got a hand axe.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll,
I mean,
I'll hurl a hand axe at it.
We did, but y'all killed him.
Haha, jokes.
He sucked.
That is a 24 to hit.
And you're hitting the same one up here?
Yeah.
Okay. 24 will hit.
For 7 damage.
7 damage.
Don't want to alarm anyone, but I am out of superior dice.
And sparks fly as this axe embeds itself in this thing's armor. It's going to bring us to red.
Alright, let's go ahead and move to here.
Mhm.
And let's take another stab with my rapier. Oh, this guy's prone though. No, he's not. Not
No,
this time.
no, he's
That's
not.
an armor class of 18.
18 will hit.
For a total of 30 damage.
30 damage.
I'm really worried, you guys.
And you can hear the thing's joints creak. And some of the metal plates don't seem to be moving as quickly anymore. But it's not done just yet.
Let's give Raazu a bonus on her next attack against it, and that's the end of Red's turn.
Okay. This is the one that can move.
Yeah.
He's going to turn over to red. And see if he can't plant red on the floor. Red, I have a 12.
Nope,
And I have a 23.
that'll do it.
"17 points piercing damage as he brings this pick down hard.
Sorry, how much was that?
How much damage per code?
17.
Okay, gonna go ahead and half that with Uncanny.
Okay. You just absorb most of the blow with your arm, and you immediately wish you hadn't.
Sentinel.
Sentinel? That doesn't
Yeah.
seem fair. These guys
I
don't
know,
have...
it doesn't.
Oh, wait, yes they do.
Don't really even worry about it. I only rolled a 10 to hit.
Okay.
Did you take that
It's fine.
advantage I gave you?
Oh, right. Right. Might as well. That's a 19.
19 will hit.
Alright. Trident. Damage of 4 trident damage.
Okay.
And I'll use my last level 1 slot. 11 thunder damage.
I need red and Raazu
I knew this is
to
coming.
make a dexterity saving throw.
Get +4 to this red.
Yep.
Ooh, 19.
19?
That's 20. Geez, plus 4. 24. No, 25.
Can I re-roll this damage? This sucks.
No, don't.
12 points of fire damage, which you both can cut in half for making the save. As you pull your trident out of this thing, and with it comes a spurt of this flammable gel. And the thing roils, and you hear a loud clang as its pick hits the ground. You see its arms go slack. And then the thing explodes, sending shrapnel in all directions. And the heat of whatever was sustaining it inside of its furnace quickly dissipates into the air as smoke. So you both are blinded.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Raazu's reaction, yes?
Yep, that was my reaction.
That's good.
Is that because we're standing in smoke, or is that until we clear the smoke from our eyes?
It's because you're standing in smoke
Okay.
for the time being. And that's going to bring us to Windy.
All right. 2 questions.
Yes.
One, is the
Hey,
steam
skip me.
still billowing out from this
Did I
thing?
skip you?
Time out. Yeah, you did, because that was on my reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was Red's turn. Or rather, it was this
Yeah.
thing's turn right here.
Mhm.
So I'm next.
So Windy's next, and then the other guy, and then you.
Okay,
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Killing one of them's not enough. The man's got bloodthirst now.
Got that bloodlust.
They don't bleed though.
Oil lust. So
If you attempt to engage with him in melee combat, you will take fire damage from the steam.
all right,
it'll be
and here's my
unavoidable.
second question.
Yeah.
Since there's steam coming off of him, does that count as wind coming from a direction?
No.
Come on, he's right there. I see him.
Nope.
Coward.
Says the man who doesn't give fighters bonus actions.
It's not a.
I know what you're going to say.
It's not a bonus action, Serge.
He's going to play a Battlemaster fighter my next campaign, watch.
Battlemaster
Wait,
fighters are
wizard.
good.
They're fun.
Oh God. Wizard.
All right. I'm gonna close in to melee,
Okay.
and
6 points of fire damage as you get close enough to strike him.
all right, and I'm gonna go for a kick. Ooh, thank you, stun. That's a 26
26 will hit.
for 5 bludgeoning and a con save.
Okay. 23 on the con save.
And a longsword. For 10 damage and a con save.
Okay. 5 on the con save.
And he is stunned until the end of my next turn.
And you're going to swoop around so you can stay in position?
Yeah.
Okay.
Raazu.
At this
shouts
point,
out, "Take
the
it out from
steam
this-"
in the air is beginning to very quickly dissipate. And the thing is still sitting there, and you see, and you feel too, being close to it, sparks inside of the forge as though it's trying to reignite. It's going to bring us to Raazu.
Raazu steps out over here, out of the fog.
Mhm. Yeah, as
Shouts
soon
out,
as
"Take
you
it out from a-"
step out from the smoke, and the smoke is also dissipating very quickly.
So she shouts out, "Take it out at range for obvious reasons," says the scorched hobgoblin. And she goes ahead and decides to throw.
Okay, hold that
Try-
thought.
Hmm?
I'm going to let you make your attack roll as soon as we come back from our second break.